It's and they didn't have to go through that effort. I mean, BattleTech is just mechs on a board, that's it. They didn't have to go through so much effort, but they did. For every single detail, for how the ships were made, for why they were made, for how the political situation in this entire world, how it worked out. And it makes sense. It's masterfully written.
Firing.
That archer needs to go away.
Commander.
I didn't notice that that was an archer, and that archer peppered me with so many shots.
Firing all weapons.
Commander.
Oh, I didn't need to go that close with him, it's an archer. Let's see.
Giving him everything I've got.
Okay, well, I did injure the pilot, not by much though.
Damage minimal.
Yeah, I actually prefer Eastern fantasy, so Japanese specifically. Both their mythology and their... Well, I'm an anime fan, so... when their approach to fantasy is much more complex... Well, I'm gonna say complex. It's different. It's different. I like it more.
All weapons committed.
Western fantasy tends to be...
Ready for order.
What would be the good way of saying this?
Moving to position.
Utilizing tropes that are known to sell well. That's what Western fantasy usually tends to be about. So it's a different approach.
Yep.
If you see in Western, not just fantasy, but when you see a Western production, it's gonna be taking something that's already proven to work, that's already proven to earn money, and they're just gonna rehash that. That's Western approach. Eastern approach is, you know, this idea seems interesting, let's do something about it, and let's be as crazy about it as we can be. Oh, that's fan service. Yeah, anime is a lot about fan service, but it's a approach to an already used up idea in a different way. For example, take a comparison of how Western civilization, let's say comics, how Western comics look like versus how animes look like. If you take something which is well ingrained into our society, like heroes, and you take DC comics, you take Marvel comics, they have each an approach which is copying one another. So that's why you have heroes between DC and Marvel, which are pretty much the same character, just written from a different house. You have a Green Arrow and you have Hawkeye, for example.
Standing by.
They just copy stuff that works. Whoever thought about it first, the other one is gonna copy it. Now, take a look at the animes. When you look at superheroes, the variety and of heroes in animes is off the wall. They will take something that is simple and they will make something crazy about it. For example, if you take a look at, since I've mentioned heroes, My Hero Academia. Now, you see that some of the heroes there are obvious references to some of the more popular heroes, like homages. However, the way that the heroes work in My Hero Academia, the whole quirk concept, and the way that the heroes themselves look like, you have a hero who is essentially dispensing sticky tape from his elbows. And if you say that to somebody, it sounds ridiculous. But in that anime, it works. Because it's it's pulled off well. If you think about some other ridiculous heroes like that, like I'm trying to think some other heroes oh, there are so many heroes, but most of them have stuff that you would expect. But even things that are there that have been done before are then redone in a better, more interesting way. It's more interesting. It's more original. I don't know. It's all of this is just my personal opinion, but
Yeah.
I can't decide how to shoot this guy because I want to actually get him. I want to get him. It's another archer, and I think it's the same archer that I have. I'm just gonna go for heads. Yeah, still not.
Engaging physical attack. Enemy mech. Critical damage detected.
Okay, pilot injured.
Receiving you.
Receiving you.
You're overheating.
Confirmed.
Overheat.
Roger that. Venting heat.
He overheat. I'm trying to salvage him. Ooh, that was a high kick. Oh, what did you ruin?
Warning.
Okay, just two regular lasers.
Destroyed.
That was a high kick. Let's see if I can knock him down again. I still have the AC on me. That didn't get him. Knock him down.
Locking in all weapon systems.
That still didn't knock him down.
Standing by. Moving to position.
Knock him down.
Aye aye.
There we go. Yeah, but that's Vic. That's the case always. That's simply because of the saturation of the market. But when you look at it just on the amount of that interesting stuff of how much it happens, it's so much more than on the Western side. Because apart from the DC Comics and Marvel, do you know of any other hero stories like that, or generally interesting stories that happen in the Western part? Because I don't. If I think, let's put it like this, even if you think about it like cartoons or series, how many of them end up that are just really interesting and original, even if they're taking a rundown story? In anime, I can think of Trigun, Cowboy Bebop, Ghost in the Shell. I can think of even new ones like Cannon Busters, Akira. There are heaps and heaps of them. It's just, at least in my image, it's nowhere near that on the Western side. Of course, I could be biased because I prefer, but I've tried to watch so many things that are given to us from Netflix and stuff on the Western side, and they're just not interesting. They're just not interesting. Every once in a blue moon, we get one on the Western series that is actually interesting. Everything else is just completely just recycled. Now that Netflix has put out Netflix originals and stuff, for every interesting one, like The Expanse, you get like a ton of them that are just completely dull. Even when they have a good series that they could revive properly, they don't do it properly. Like one of the Western series that I enjoyed as a child and I wanted to see done properly later on was He-Man. Now He-Man did have a kind of a revamp back in 2000s, which was good. Well, they actually had two. And the first revamp was not good. That's the one with the ponytail. But the second one was excellent, but it was cancelled after the second season because of the lack of interest for He-Man. And then when I saw Netflix was gonna do He-Man again, I was like, yes, He-Man's back. And it's bad. The trailer looked excellent, but the actual product isn't good. Not for me anyway. If anybody enjoys that, more power to you folks, but I didn't. I really didn't. That's not He-Man anymore. They just did a Netflix a Netflix remake of something. That's not He-Man anymore. Okay, so this is actually a second type of archer. So now I have both of them now, which is good. What's this guy's forte? So this one has 2 missile slots, and this one has 4 missile slots. It's 4 beams. This one might be actually a better idea for a missiler, but I'm going to leave it alone for now. I'm going to keep him in storage because archers are good. I need to refit the arm. There we go. 3 days, but we're done with this planet anyway, so we can go away. Next planet. Go here. Are they all? Yeah, they're all low difficulties. Oh well.
Bio command.
At least we don't spend too much time there.
Job's done, Commander.
Yeah, Vic, you're absolutely right that there are many hidden treasures in the Western presentation of many both comics and series. Problem is that it's not as readily available. You actually have to dig and dig properly to find them, whereas the one from the Eastern market, probably because of popularity, is more approachable and more out there. But one of the reasons why I prefer the Eastern part is because they usually, I mean, of course they have their junk as well, they have their trash, but when it's done properly, just think about some of them, like Akamiga Kill, which is completely ridiculous, and it works. Cannon Busters as well is ridiculous, but it works. And that kind of stuff just doesn't go. Marauder. Only, well, 2 parts of Marauder. Ooh. Am I ready to give 2 million for a Marauder? Wait a minute, of course I'm ready to give 2 million for a Marauder.
New equipment available.
I have a Marauder. Oh, I have a Marauder. Okay, who am I gonna kick out? Archer? I just put you in. I could actually get rid of the Orion now that I have a Marauder. Do I want to do that though? Do I really want to do that? Orion is nice. Orion is nice. Black Knight might be replaceable. Yeah, I'm gonna replace the Black Knight. This is one of the best mechs in the game. This is the iconic mech in the game. Absolute beast. Look at him. Look at this magnificent beast. That is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Ah, yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna be putting an AC on him. I'm just not sure which AC I'm gonna be putting on. Let's maximize the armor. So I have 24 tons to work with. I don't really want to put half of that tonnage into, but it depends on what I'm gonna be putting on the arms. Because he can work in many configurations. I can put in 2 PPCs on him and an AC. On the other hand, I can put in lasers on him and an AC. So here's the thing. I could build him up in many different ways. He doesn't have that many slots. I mean, he has 4 beam slots and 3. But he can be a massive, massive beast. Oh, could I combine AC5 and AC2 plus? 6 tons, 8 tons. I could put in 2 ACs and a bunch of lasers on it. Let's see how that's gonna look like. That only leaves me 6 tons to work with. Oh, hold on. Maybe AC5 instead. That leaves me 10 tons. I need to put ammo heat sinks on it as well, though. Okay, how about PPCs? How about PPCs? Leaves me again with 10 tons. The heat efficiency is gonna suffer from this. But I leave 1 PPC and a couple of these. That leaves me with 15 tons. I would like to do this, but I can't account. I need that extra tonnage. Would you let me load ammo, please? Thank you. And heat sinks all around. I have 2 tons left. This will load it up on heat sinks. Okay, so it's 4 medium lasers and an AC-10 plus. I think that'll work. I mean, if I wasn't so concerned about the heat, I would remove these and I would put PPCs in. That would give him a real punch. I would have to strip him from armor then. I don't wanna. I want him to be as armored as it can be. Let's see, I can actually get one more. One more ammo. There we go. Confirm.
Right. I'll get it in the schedule.
Okay, how many days? 7 days. Okay, we can just as well lose 7 days.
Our nest egg is just about gone, Commander. I wrapped up that job you asked for, Commander.
there are many ways you can build up a Marauder. The default setup is 2 PPCs, 2 lasers, an AC2, and half armor, and that's devastating to be fair, but I prefer to have my armor full. It would be nice if we could find a Highlander. Speaking of more interesting concepts on the Western market, Vic, I would point out one of the more original ones is Marvel Zombies. Now that was something I liked, because that took something. The only way it could be better if it was original characters, but because they were actually known, it actually is important for the it's the whole point. But that storyline is actually kind of really intriguing. That I like that a lot. It is macabre to the core, but that's the whole point. It's zombies.
Command interface initiated.
I was a fan of the of Judge Dredd movie, the original movie, but I must be honest, I haven't read the comics, so I don't know. When you said that you started collecting it, do you have like a bunch of them, or you just is something like that you come back to every now and again? Judge Dredd has a kind of interesting world.
Coordinates received. Roger.
I say kind of because it's just an post-apocalyptic world, but the way that it's presented is intriguing.
Eyes on hostile reinforcements. They're heading your way.
Okay, so we have 2 lances. Oh, and they are heavies. Oh, no, 1 heavy. That's an Orion, though, and I don't need an Orion anymore.
All weapons committed.
That, I just said that, but having 2 Orions in a squad wouldn't be bad. This one doesn't have much armor, and this could be... No, it's a K variant. I have the K variant myself. You might have more missiles, but your accuracy is bad.
Standing by. Aye, aye.
Let's see how lucky we get. 17% chance.
Aye, aye.
Oh
Mech
yes.
destroyed.
Oh yes. And that is why it's important to train the sniper.
It's good to go.
Already removed Orion from play. That's a nice collection there you have back then. Ouch. Pepper there. Are they all locusts? They are all locusts.
Damage minimal.
I didn't know that, so how old is Dredd then? Because he was like 30 years old when the comic started, wasn't he? Or in his 20s or something like that. I honestly don't know, to be to be fair with you. Oh, that was a nice shot. I like how he shreds him while he's falling.
Enemy mech destroyed.
Receiving
Well, that's one thing also what I don't like about the way that the West does franchises, is that every once in a while they get this feel that they want to reboot it, and they just restart everything. I don't like that.
Nice. Got that.
I prefer the way that how it's done on the Eastern style in
ready for order.
where there is just a continuation of either at a later stage of the protagonist's life, or it's
Yes, Commander.
oh,
On my way.
or like in Dragon Balls where you have them like a following generation. Boruto does that as well. I like that. That is good. You know, it gives a sense of continuity
Confirmed.
of the life, as well as being able to show you how the life of everything progressed further. It gives it another dimension. I like that. Oh yeah, it makes sense that he would be
Damage minimal.
kept young artificially, in a way.
Engaging physical attack. Enemy mech destroyed. Mission successful.
That was nice. So this mission was essentially, even though it's a difficulty 1, we got a heavy, but that heavy was representing the entire squad, and those 3 lights were the second squad. I would prefer if it was an assault, but I didn't put any salvage in. Ah! Well, it's a good thing I have some salvage from before. Still got the Orion. Okay, gonna send that Orion. Yeah, I don't want to replace any of these guys, so Orion, you're going into storage. This is the base destruction, escort, battle. This is a battle. Doesn't pay well, so I don't think we're gonna be expecting a lot of from this. Yeah, that's one of the things I never liked in general in stories, that the amount of people who are killed and catastrophes is so ambiguous, so you never have an idea of how much of an impact a certain disaster had. Like, you would think in half of the conflicts that just happened in the MCU, that hundreds of thousands of people would have been killed. But it's all left so ambiguous. But to be fair, I don't think that a single franchise or series ever managed to give you the correct scale of depopulation. It's a difficult thing to do to begin with, I guess.
Command interface initiated.
Okay, so we just need to destroy the enemy units. They are spawning over there. As well go here.
On it. Moving to position.
Yeah, that sounds kind of horrible,
Aye, aye.
but yeah, that would give us scope at least. Oh, that's a heavy. That's a heavy. I'm happy about
Heads up,
that.
Commander. You've got
And that's a
hostile
light.
contacts inbound.
Is it the same kind of mission that we're dealing with? It's also light. It's a Black Knight.
Ready for orders.
When you reboot a franchise, you pretty much nullify anything of consequence that happened inside that franchise.
Confirmed.
There we go. I like that sniper.
Tango down.
Marvel and DC generally Western publishers tend to do that. Western creators.
Heading out.
Doesn't so much happen on the East. Even Korean storylines don't really have, at least as far as I've noticed, a tendency to
Standing by.
go back on itself.
Copy
Which
that.
is what you're doing with something like that. You're going back on yourself. For me, personally, again, this is my personal opinion, if you feel a need to reboot something, that means you ran out of ideas and you want to start over. That's what it means for me. If you're rebooting a franchise, that means you ran out of ideas on how to continue your franchise and you're starting over. And very rarely do reboots fare better than the originals. For starters, because a reboot is always going to be compared to the original to begin with.
Receiving you.
What do you need?
What is this? This is the Archer.
Order.
Let's go with you.
On my way.
Let's see.
Firing.
That's that guy.
Tango down.
Standing by.
Orders. On my way.
How much do you have? Not much.
Taking the shot.
Oh, I like how they're shredded while they're falling.
Hostile eliminated.
Ready for orders.
Yeah, the indie market doesn't tend to do that so much because, while it's not a rule, but
Aye, aye.
indie developers, indies publishers, they tend to care more about what they're doing. They, for a major publisher such as Marvel or DC, a line is profitable. They will put forward what sells. They will put forward what is generally well received. A small publisher, a small creator doesn't care. A small creator only cares about what they're doing. They care about their own product because they're doing it as a passion project. You can see the same thing happening in game development. Major publishers, major developers, they make what sells. Small-time developers, small-time publishers, they create what they like. And for the most part, well, it's not a rule, but for the most part, they turn out better. Because their creators actually care.
Ready for orders.
Like I said, it's not a rule, but for the most part, that's how it is. And it makes sense when you think about it.
Good to go. Location confirmed.
I was hoping that you would be knocked down.
Inflicted some heavy damage.
See, he's trying to flank me. The AI isn't the best, but they have a straightforward concept of what they're trying to do.
Full throttle.
Standing by.
Standing by. Move order received. Acknowledged.
It was an arm, a dangerous arm.
Hit. Commander. On it.
Receiving you.
Let's sprint you forward.
Roger.
Don't. Okay. Multi-hit weapons have a higher chance of harming the cockpit. Machine guns are weak, but a single shot entered the cockpit is an injury. I might as well finish you off.
Enemy mech destroyed.
Ready for orders. Position confirmed.
Yeah, and you can. There are a couple of mechs that are specifically made to mount a bunch of support weapons. Machine guns and flamethrowers are support weapons. And just get in close and you can kill pilots quite simply. Well, you can and you can't. It's very prone to RNG. So you have a better chance, but it's nowhere near as guaranteed. It is almost a guarantee if you have a sniper pilot and you put him in one of that. The best mech to do that, in my opinion, is the King Crab, because he has a ton of armor. It's one of the strongest mechs in the game anyway. What do we do? The Black Knight. Yeah. And early game fire starters are the best for that because they get flamers as well. So flamers are, apart from being multi-hit weapons, they also overheat the opponent. So fire starter is great for that early on. It's also a risky proposition though, because they generally don't have a lot of armor, which is why I say that late game best one is actually just King Crab. But King Crab is also so powerful that you don't really need to do that at all. Okay. Destroy base, escort, battle. in a battle. Oh, let's do one more. Yeah, it is. I'm hoping that it doesn't get flagged because I'm not sure if that's licensed or not. I'm playing the music through Pretzel, and Pretzel is now currently set up to instrumentals and unlicensed. So I'm guessing that the soundtrack isn't licensed then. If I get flagged for this, I'm gonna be annoyed. It seems to be a remix, though. It is a remix. I just looked at the title. Necrodancer has, well, non-ironically, it has a great soundtrack. It would be sad if a game which is a rhythm-based game would have a poor soundtrack. Oh, okay.
Moving to position.
This isn't too big of a map, so we should be able to find these guys immediately. There it is. 1, 2, both of them are light. This will be done quickly. A flea. Yeah, you're gonna be dead. A flea is an interesting mech. I mean, it has no armor, but it has a ton of weapons. That's a panther.
Enemy detected.
Neither of them have a good accuracy, so let's just
All weapons committed.
get him. There goes the arm.
Enemy mech. Critical damage detected.
Receiving you. Position.
Let's see if we can get this guy out of the picture.
Eye on.
Nope, miss, and okay.
Tango.
That's how low an armor it has.
Ready for orders. Moving out. Give them everything I've got. Tango down. Yes, Commander. Roger. Full speed.
Another fleet. Let's finish him quickly. Bolt shot in the body.
All weapons committed.
There we go. I think that was a record. Whole mission didn't even last 5 minutes.
Mission successful.
Yeah, I really don't want any of these. I don't know which one I have. I think I have both of the fleas already, so I'll just take this. And that's where we're gonna be finishing the stream today. So we played some BattleTech because Soul Reaver 2 was being temperamental. So here's the plan. Come this Wednesday, we're hopefully gonna finally finish the Warcraft 2 campaign. And It only remains to see what kind of headache Warcraft 3 will be giving me in terms of being able to be run properly, because it's old games tend to cause problems. Well, Vic, have a good night. Yes, I will need to see you Wednesday. So on Wednesday we'll be hopefully completing that campaign, and on Sunday I will be playing Soul Reaver 2. I will get that thing running even if it costs me my sanity. It's just a matter of tweaking the settings in order to get that thing running, which I will be able to do one way or the other. So next week, finally gonna be doing the Soul Reaver and the end of Warcraft 2. So everybody who joined me today, thank you for being here, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, hope you have fun, and I hope to see you next stream. So until then, wherever in the world, have a wonderful day, night, morning, evening, afternoon, and I will see you next time. See ya, folks.